Good evening. Good evening. I'm back with another live video. I'm going to divulge into the Premier League fixtures. Now, obviously, the Premier League fixtures were announced a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to divulge into them a little bit and give you some key dates and also tell you which team your team have got on Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and obviously the last day of the season, and obviously game week 1 and game week 2. So let's start with it. And there's one fixture already kicking out at me: Liverpool against Norwich. What a start for Daniel Farke and Norwich City, going to Anfield to face the Champions League winners Liverpool. Now obviously Liverpool have a very good record against Norwich, and if only Liverpool had a certain Mr. Luis Suarez, number 7, because he loved a goal against Norwich. I think it was 11 goals in 5 games against Norwich. So he had a very good record against that lot. So I think Liverpool will be pleased. With Norwich to start with this season. Can Norwich be the first team since Crystal Palace on the April the 23rd, 2017, to have beaten Liverpool at Anfield? Well, that would be very interesting. I don't think they will be, but stranger things have happened. We get into the second game, and this is a Saturday kickoff time, which is 12:30. It's West Ham against Manchester City. Now, West Ham are continuing a little trend that they've met at least one of the top 6. So obviously, in the first fixture. So obviously they met Liverpool last season. They lost by 4-0. The season previous to that, Antonio Conte's Chelsea, they met West Ham. I believe that 2015 they were at Arsenal. And then I think 2014 they got Tottenham. So they've had someone in the top 6 for the last 6 years. They've had Manchester United as well. So and they've lost 4-0 as well. So yeah, you have to feel for West Ham. Considering that they've had a really bad few games, especially with the opening fixtures as well. So obviously that's 12:30. Liverpool Norwich is an 8 o'clock kickoff. That is live on Sky Sports. And now we come into the 3 o'clock games on Saturday. So we have Bournemouth against Sheffield United. Now Bournemouth met Cardiff City the last time when they faced first. So Bournemouth getting another promoted team. Sheffield United, welcome back to the Premier League, as all I can say. First time since 2006-2007 when they were definitely a lot. I think they're a lot more prepared this time now, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how well they do. Congratulations to Chris Wilder, for getting Sheffield United to the Premier League. So it's a very, very warm welcome back to them. Burnley against Southampton. Burnley obviously don't have any problems with the Europa League. That really affected their form last season, and I think that is going to be very, very interesting to see what is going to actually happen to Burnley this season. Southampton, obviously this is Ralph Hasenhüttl's first full season in charge of Southampton, so it'll be very interesting to see what players he brings into that game. Turf Moor, it's a tough place to go, obviously. I think everyone kind of knows that as well. So good for I think Southampton fans were pretty pleased to get that one out of the way. Crystal Palace against Everton. Now, Crystal Palace's Achilles heel last season was not their away form. Funnily enough, it was their home form. They didn't have a very good home record last season, and it'll be very, very interesting to see if they can actually start off with a win in that one. Coming up against an Everton side, who had a much better season under Marco Silva, has to be said. Obviously they had a very, very poor season under Ronald Koeman, and obviously he was sacked, and then obviously Big Sam came in, and then obviously Marco Silva came in as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what Everton can do this season, and their closest signing Andre Gomez, so which would be another fantastic signing. Who he was fantastic last season. Now, for the third consecutive season in a row, Watford are meeting Brighton. Now, this is very, very interesting. Now, obviously, Watford won the fixture last time around. I think it was 2-0. But obviously, Brighton won the reverse fixture against Watford. So, that's a very, very interesting one as well. But yeah, they'll be sick and tired of facing each other, I think, Watford and Brighton. And then we come into the Saturday tea time game, which is Tottenham against Aston Villa. So that's another pretty good test for Tottenham. Aston Villa, welcome back to the Premier League. Big welcome back to them. Obviously, we have to give massive credit to John McGinn, who obviously moved from Hibs to Aston Villa, and he scored the winning goal in the playoff final against Derby County. So looking forward to seeing what Aston Villa can bring. Dean Smith, obviously, boyhood Villa fan, as is Jack Grealish. I think they've managed to keep Jack Grealish so far, so I think, again, that's going to be very, very good for them as well. So, it's a very, very interesting couple of starting Saturday fixtures as well. And then we move on to Sunday's game, and one game stares out at me already, and that's Leicester against Wolves. What a game to start the season for both of these sides. Leicester, obviously, Brendan Rodgers' first season in charge, full season in charge as well. Wolves, they'll obviously be in Europa League action, so that's going to be very interesting to see if they can get the squad to actually be able to compete in the Europa League. So it'll be very, very interesting in that one. And then 2 p.m. live on Sky, Newcastle against Arsenal. Now, if people have not known, I'm pretty sure everyone will have known, Rafa Benitez will be leaving Newcastle. Another reason why the sooner Mike Ashley leaves Newcastle, the better, because he clearly is just, he's just really annoying, and I think Newcastle fans have been sick and tired of him. So I think it's safe to say that. But they're coming against an Arsenal side where Arsenal's away form really, really let them down last season. So it'll be very, very interesting for that one. And then probably the game of the weekend in the first games, Manchester United against Chelsea. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season in charge of the Red Devils against a Chelsea side who have a transfer ban, have sold Eden Hazard, and are managerless as we speak. I will say that as we speak, because obviously there is loads of rumours going around that Frank Lampard will be possibly the new Chelsea manager. So is that one we can see happening? We shall see what happens as well. So that's obviously game week 1. So some good fixtures in that one. So as we move on to game week 2, so this is the 17th of August. But obviously these will change for obviously TV coverage as well. So we've got Arsenal against Burnley. We have Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Brighton against West Ham. Chelsea against Leicester City. Everton against Watford. We all know about Marco Silva and Watford. Watford brought plastic snakes last season to that game. So very, very interesting for that. Very, very interesting for that one. Manchester City against Tottenham. That's an interesting one as well, considering that Tottenham beat Manchester City in the Champions League final. So Champions League quarterfinals. So obviously they'll need to avenge that defeat. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. Norwich against Newcastle, Sheffield United against Crystal Palace, Southampton against Liverpool, and Wolves against Manchester United. So Manchester United really need to get off hit the ground running. Really, 2 big games. But I've been saying to a few Manchester United fans, and if I'm being honest, this is probably the best time to face Chelsea and Wolves, because obviously Chelsea will be in Super Cup action against Liverpool on the 14th of August. And it'd be interesting to see. Will probably have a manager, and it'd be interesting to see if they can actually overturn their transfer ban. I don't think they will be able to, so it'd be very interesting to see who is actually going out of Chelsea. A lot of rumours actually suggesting William might be going, and Marcos Alonso. So, like I said, it's probably the best time to face Chelsea, and obviously Wolves will be in Europa League action. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how well they do, and basically how far they can actually go. It would be very, very interesting in that one. So obviously that's game week 1 and game week 2. Manchester City against Tottenham, probably the standout fixture in game week 2. Liverpool going to Southampton. It's probably the best time to get rid of Southampton away. It's one of those games where Liverpool did struggle in the first half. Obviously, the second half they managed to get the win in that one. So it's good to get that one out of the way, I think. So now we come on to the Boxing Day fixtures, and this is where it gets very, very interesting. So the Boxing Day fixtures are as follows. We have Aston Villa against Norwich. So obviously the two promoted sides meeting each other at Villa Park. That will be very, very interesting indeed. Bournemouth against Arsenal. We know about Arsenal's struggles at Bournemouth. So again, that'll be another interesting game as well. Chelsea against Southampton. Crystal Palace against West Ham. So obviously a London derby there. So that'll be very interesting. Everton against Burnley. Leicester against Liverpool. That's a tough one for Liverpool. Brendan Rodgers up against his former side. Obviously, they come to Anfield on the 5th of October. Brendan Rodgers will no doubt get a very good reception at Anfield, so that'll be a very interesting game to watch. And then obviously Manchester United against Newcastle. That'll be a good one as well. Sheffield United against Watford. Tottenham against Brighton. This is probably the standout game of the Boxing Day fixtures. Wolves against Manchester City. Wow. We all know about Wolves' success against the top 6 last season. Will they be able to continue that? Who knows? But that would be very, very interesting to see. So yeah, some good Boxing Day fixtures. So, thought the Boxing Day fixtures were good. We come to the New Year's fixtures, and I have to say, the first game that stands out, Arsenal against Manchester United. Wow. I remember them playing on the 3rd of January, and I think that was a 0-0 draw. So it'd be very interesting in that one. Obviously, Arsenal will have the upper hand on Manchester United, having obviously won the last game between the sides 2-0 at the Emirates, and obviously there was a 2-2 draw in that game as well. So at Old Trafford, if I seem to remember as well. Brighton against Chelsea. Burnley against Aston Villa, Liverpool against Sheffield United, Manchester City against Everton, Newcastle against Leicester City, Norwich against Crystal Palace. That'll be a good one. Crystal Palace away day specialist last season. Be interesting to see if they can do it again. Southampton against Tottenham, Watford against Wolves. That'll be another good game because obviously those two were involved in a classic FA Cup semi-final where Watford came out 3-2 winners in the end. Jared Deulofeu, I remember being the man of the match that day. And West Ham against Bournemouth. So obviously New Year fixtures. Obviously Arsenal against Manchester United. That has to be the pick of the bunch out of that one. And then obviously we come to the final day fixtures, which is Arsenal against Watford, Burnley against Brighton, Chelsea against Wolves, Crystal Palace against Tottenham. That's another interesting one. Another London derby. Everton against Bournemouth, Leicester City against Manchester United. Again, that's another that's a tricky one for Manchester United to go to Leicester on the final day. So obviously if they're in any top 4 ambitions, then that'll be very interesting to see if they can go to Leicester. So that's a very tough game. Manchester City against Norwich City. Now everyone would think this is a banker win, but remember the 2012-2013 season. Now this is obviously when Manchester City lost the title to Manchester United. Manchester City actually lost by 3-2 against Chris Hughton's Norwich City. Could lightning strike again twice? Who knows? But Norwich City do know that they did win. The last time they were at the Etihad on the final day of the season, they beat Manchester City 3-2. So it'd be very interesting. I think it's highly likely to say that probably won't happen again. But like we say, stranger things have happened. But the last time Manchester City played Norwich City ran out 3-2 winners. I think it was Johnny Howson that scored the winner that day, if memory serves me correctly. And then we have Newcastle against Liverpool. Again, if we are in for a treat with the Manchester City Norwich City game, then Newcastle Liverpool, that was 3-2 to Liverpool last season as well. So a Divock Origi winner for that game. So that will be very, very tricky as well. I will come to the run-ins for Manchester City and Liverpool because there's a big, big difference for that one. So I will come for that. Southampton against Sheffield United and West Ham against Aston Villa. So some pretty good final day fixtures. So now I will come into the first six fixtures for the top six. So obviously I will start this in obviously ascending order of basically the teams that finished in the top six places last season. So for Manchester City, their first six are as follows: West Ham away, Tottenham at home, Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Norwich away, and Watford at home. So you would probably expect Manchester City to at least get at least 15 points maybe out of those six. Maybe even maximum points. It's a pretty good start for them as well, I would say. So yeah, I would probably expect Manchester City to get to at least about 15 or 15, 16, maybe 18 points out of those six. Now we come to Liverpool, runners up last season. We've got Norwich City home first, and then Southampton away. Arsenal at home. Arsenal at home in the third game. Deja vu. Now, the last time that happened, Liverpool won 4-0. And Arsenal were all at sea that day. So could lightning strike twice again? Possible, because Arsenal have a very poor record at Anfield. 4-0, 5-1, 3-1 the last three games between the sides. So it'll be very interesting for that one. Burnley away, Newcastle at home, and Chelsea away. So Liverpool have got a pretty good start as well. I think obviously the Chelsea away game, that's going to be very, very interesting. They obviously drew that one. It's nice to get trips out of the way. St Mary's and Turf Moor, two tough grounds to play at, so it's good to get those two out of the way. So yeah, Liverpool, I think probably 15, 16 points. So if they want to stay with Manchester City, then obviously they'll have to sort of try and match what Manchester City do. Chelsea, now obviously they've obviously, like I said, they've not got a manager, and they've obviously sold their best players, so seeing the transition. But they do have Christian Pulisic coming in, so it'll be very, very interesting to see that one. So their first six are as follows: Manchester United away, Leicester at home, Norwich away, Sheffield United at home, Wolves away, and Liverpool at home. That's pretty tough, to be honest. Manchester United away, obviously that's a tough one. Leicester at home, that's not a banker, considering that Leicester actually beat them at Stamford Bridge last season. So that'll be interesting. They've got Norwich away. They've got a good record against Norwich, but Carrow Road seemed to be pretty difficult to beat Norwich last season. But obviously that was in the Championship. This is a different kettle of fish, so it'll be very, very interesting for that one. Sheffield United at home, you would expect them to win that one. Wolves away, they lost 2-1 last season to Wolves, but obviously that was because of Wolves' good record against the top six as well, so that'll be a very, very tough game, that one. And then obviously the Liverpool home game, that'll be tough as well. So Chelsea, I think they might struggle in a couple of games, but you would probably expect them to pick up maybe 10, 11 points, I would say, out of those six. It's not going to be pretty, not going to be easy for them at all. So now we come to fourth place Tottenham, and they have Aston Villa at home, Manchester City away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal away, Palace at home, Leicester away. That's pretty tough as well. Villa, they've obviously got a good record against. They've always got a good record against Villa. Tottenham have. Manchester City away, obviously they won there in the Champions League. No, they didn't, but they won on aggregate. They won on away goals. They lost there, so they seem to have a poor record. Newcastle at home, you would expect them to win that one. Arsenal away, that's a different matter. It'd be very interesting. Another North London derby. 31st of August, I believe that one is. Again, that will probably be moved for TV rights. Crystal Palace at home, so obviously the last game between the sides, Tottenham, Crystal Palace, In fact, I do believe that that was the first game of the new stadium opening for Tottenham. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if Palace can actually, beat them this time. So that'll be a good one. And Leicester away, that is pretty tough as well to go to the King Power. So Tottenham, I would think. It's tricky. I would think maybe 10, 11 points. I do think they might lose a couple of those. City away and Arsenal away, probably the ones I would probably expect them to lose to. Coming to Arsenal now, so they've got Newcastle away, Burnley at home, Liverpool away, Tottenham at home, Watford away, and Aston Villa at home. That's a pretty tough start for Arsenal, if you think about it. Newcastle away, they lost their last season. Who says they probably won't lose there this season? Burnley at home, they'll probably beat Burnley. Liverpool away, I think they always seem to struggle at Anfield, so I think you probably expect them to lose to Liverpool. Tottenham at home, you probably expect Tottenham to lose at Arsenal. I think Arsenal will probably win that one. Watford away, they lost there last season as well, so none of these are gimmies for Arsenal. Villa at home as well. I think if I do seem to remember, the 2015-2016 season, or was it 2014-2015? There was one that Villa actually beat Arsenal by 3-1 in one of those games. So again, that'll be another interesting one. So Arsenal, Newcastle away, Liverpool away, I'd probably expect those to be defeats. Burnley at home, Tottenham at home. I'm going to go for 9 points for Arsenal. I think they've got. Funny thing is, you can actually see them losing to Watford again. You really can. So it'll be very, very interesting for that one as well. So ours will come to Manchester United. So their first six are as follows: Chelsea at home, Wolves away, Crystal Palace at home, Southampton away, Leicester at home, and West Ham away. That's a pretty tough. Those two first fixtures are very, very tough for Manchester United. Chelsea at home, Wolves away. But as I've said, those two will be having eyes elsewhere. Obviously, Wolves will probably be in Europa League action, and obviously Chelsea will obviously be wanting a new manager, and obviously they can't sign any players. So, like I said, it's probably the best time to play them. So we've got Palace, Southampton, Leicester, West Ham. Now, probably 7 years ago, you would expect these to be winnable games for Manchester United. Obviously, Palace last season, it was a 0-0 draw. Southampton away, that was 2-2. Leicester, that was a 2-1 win. And they lost last time out to West Ham by 3-1. So, I can see United beating Chelsea. I think Wolves might get something off them. I think they should beat Palace. Southampton away, that's an interesting one. Leicester at home should win that. I think it's the away games that would be my worry for if I were a United fan. I think that they will probably. I'd probably say they'll win their home games. So there's 9 points. Southampton, I would say a draw. West Ham, Wolves. Yeah, I think there's a couple of games in there that Manchester United may struggle. So I'm going to go from maybe between 11, 13 points for Manchester United for the first six. So that's obviously the first six for the top six. So we come now into the promoted teams, and welcome Aston Villa, Norwich, and Sheffield United. So that'll be so it's great to have those three back. So Aston Villa's first six are as follows: Tottenham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, and Arsenal away. That's tough. That is a tough start for Villa. Obviously, Villa Park will be bouncing all season long. So they'll have a good They'll have good crowds for the Bournemouth game, the Everton game, and the West Ham game. It's away from home I worry for Aston Villa. So, if they can get Tottenham away, I think they'll lose. I think Bournemouth at home, that I would say a draw. Everton at home. Everton's away form's not pretty good, so they may have a chance against Everton. Crystal Palace away. That's always a tough place. But then again, I did say that Crystal Palace's Achilles heel last season was their home form. So it'd be very interesting to see if they could actually get something out of that one. West Ham blow hot and cold all the time. It seems to be a recurring feature this season. Obviously last season as well. So yeah, I think Villa will be looking. I think they'll have a couple of defeats in there, absolutely. But no, I think I'll go for I think maybe 7, between 7 and 9 points. I would say. I think it is a very very tough start for Aston Villa. So we come into Norwich now, and their first 6 are as follows: Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, Chelsea at home, West Ham away, Manchester City at home, Burnley away. That is probably toughest out of the promoted teams, I would say. I mean, Liverpool away is a very very tough fixture for them. There's no doubt about that. Newcastle at home, Chelsea home. So they've obviously got 2 back-to-back home games. So but they've got a very poor record against Chelsea. Newcastle, they've got an okay record against Newcastle. So Newcastle away are not as great as they once were. So they'd be very very they'd be keen to get points there. West Ham away. Again, Norwich City's away form is not very good, especially in the Premier League. You need to have a good away form, so that would be my worry. Manchester City at home, so the crowd will be buzzing for that one. I think that would probably be a TV game as well. And then Burnley away, tough one, really really tough one for anyone going to Turf Moor, absolutely. So, okay, I try not to be biased on this YouTube channel, but I think they'll lose to Liverpool. I'll say that now. Newcastle at home, I can see them beating Newcastle. Chelsea at home, I think Chelsea will probably be too strong for them. West Ham away, I think West Ham will probably be too strong for them there. Man City, I would expect Man City to win against Norwich, and then Burnley away, go for a draw maybe. So out of those lot, 4 points. I think they need points on the board, absolutely. So it'd be very interesting to see if they can get points on the board. So Sheffield United now, and their running is Bournemouth away, Palace at home, Leicester at home, Chelsea away, Southampton at home, and Everton away. So obviously they've got back-to-back home games as well against Palace and Leicester, who don't usually travel, although Palace do travel very well, I should say. So that'll be tough. Leicester don't really travel away very well, although they do pick up the occasional draw in there. So yeah, I think if you're looking at Sheffield United's fixtures, Bournemouth away, I would probably expect them to lose that one. Palace at home, I would probably see a draw on that one. Leicester, they could beat Leicester. Chelsea away, I don't think they'll beat Chelsea. Southampton at home, Southampton don't travel very well either, so they could pick something up against Southampton. Everton away, you probably expect Everton to win that one. So yeah, 6 points for Sheffield United. I think out of those 6, I think they are capable of getting more points as well. So now we have some favourable. Now we have some fixtures for your diary. So pen these in. So obviously we have the top 2, Manchester City and Liverpool. They will be facing each other. So Liverpool Man City is on the 9th of November 2019. And the reverse fixture is on the 4th of April at the Etihad. So that will be an interesting one. Liverpool against Manchester United. Obviously, Liverpool start Old Trafford on the 19th of October 2019. Liverpool against Manchester United is on the 18th of January 2020. So obviously roles are reversed. Obviously, Liverpool played Manchester United first last season. Man United played Liverpool first this season. So interesting. And as we go to Manchester City, Manchester United. Manchester City play United at the Etihad on the 7th of December 2019. And then City go to Old Trafford on the 7th of March 2020. So, be interesting to see if Manchester United can pick points off City, and if they do, they will be pretty pleased. I think they'll want to get some points definitely off Manchester City. Arsenal against Tottenham. Obviously, Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates is on the 31st of August 2019, and then Tottenham against Arsenal is on the 25th of April 2020. So that's a tricky end to the season for Arsenal. So it'll be very, very interesting for that one. Arsenal against Manchester United. Now this is where it gets interesting. Manchester United against Arsenal is on the 28th of September 2019. Reverse fixture, Arsenal against Manchester United on New Year's Day 2020. So that will be interesting as well. Chelsea against Arsenal. Arsenal against Chelsea will be on the 28th of December 2019. So quite a wee while before those two play. And then the reverse fixture at Stamford Bridge is on the 22nd of January 2020. So they don't have too long to wait until they meet again. So that will be interesting. Chelsea Manchester United fixtures. So Manchester United play Chelsea, obviously the first game of the season. That's the 11th of August. The 11th of August 2019, and then Chelsea against Manchester United is on the 8th of February 2020. And actually, there is a mid-season winter break now. How this is going to work? Basically, the first 5 fixtures will be played one weekend, and then the last 5 fixtures will be played on the 15th. So there's only going to be 5 games in those 2 weeks. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what games are picked for TV coverage as well. So yeah, that's the first thing that's coming into the season, is a mid-season winter break. So it'll be very interesting to see that one. Liverpool against Everton now. Liverpool against Everton at Anfield is on the 4th of December 2019, and that will be live on Amazon Prime. So if anyone has Amazon Prime, then it's maybe time to get it, because all the games I think on Boxing Day are on Amazon Prime as well. So yeah, and Liverpool Everton is one of those games that is on. Is on for TV coverage for Amazon Prime. And then Everton against Liverpool is the 14th of March 2020. Now Liverpool Tottenham, obviously they met in the Champions League final, and then obviously they will be Tottenham will be interested to try and beat Liverpool again. So these games, Liverpool actually play Tottenham first at Anfield this time, 26th of October 2019. And the reverse fixture, they don't have long to wait, is the 11th of January 2020, where Liverpool go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Aston Villa against Wolves. Now this is interesting. Aston Villa go to Molineux on the 9th of November 2019, and then the reverse fixture for Wolves going to Villa Park is the 4th of April 2020. Now I've included this one because there's been a lot of talk since the 2006-2007 season. Obviously the Carlos Tevez, Javier Mascherano's saga. There was a court case between Sheffield United and West Ham, so I picked these fixtures out because I think people will remember the 2006-2007 season for that reason. So West Ham will play Sheffield United on the 26th of October at the London Stadium on the 26th of October 2019, and Sheffield United will play West Ham on the 11th of January at Bramall Lane 2020. So that will be interesting as well. And I've picked these out because it's Crystal Palace Brighton. Crystal Palace will play Brighton on the 14th of December 2019, and also the reverse fixture at the Amex is the 29th of February. So that's obviously a leap year next season. So 29th of February 2020. So that's done and dusted for the obviously the top six games, derbies, etc. So some very good games coming up in that one. So I'm gonna finish with the run-ins, and you can once I say these run-ins, so I'm going to start with Manchester City. So their run-in for the end of the season is as follows: Liverpool at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, Brighton away, Bournemouth at home, Watford away, and Norwich at home. So that is a pretty good run-in for Manchester City. Now, I'm going to come to Liverpool. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting. Manchester City away, Aston Villa at home, Brighton away, Burnley at home. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, Newcastle away. Those final three fixtures are tough. Considering that Liverpool have to go to the Emirates, they have to play Chelsea on the second last game of the season and then have to go to Newcastle. Yeah, it's very, very tough. So you probably say that Manchester City have probably got a wee advantage in that one. They've got, you would probably expect Manchester City to win all. Man City, Liverpool. Put it this way: that those two it'll be a very good game, and whatever happens in that one. But the other six, you expect them to win probably. But football is never easy, so. And then obviously you'd have to bring in Champions League as well to that matter. So yeah, I would say Manchester City and Liverpool have different run-ins. It has to be said. Obviously Liverpool's last three fixtures: Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, and Newcastle away. Very, very tough. Very, very tough indeed. So that is just about it for the Premier League fixtures. I hope I've divulged into them as much as I can. So hopefully everyone will get these into their diaries, and look forward to the Premier League starting on the 9th of August, which is the Friday night. Obviously, Liverpool playing Norwich City. So it'll be very interesting for that one. So thank you very much for watching this video, and if you do like my content, then please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and obviously turn the notifications on, where you'll get every notification for any video that I post or go live or etc. And thank you to everyone who has actually subscribed so far to my channel. I am going to try my best. I know that I'm not used to this, but I'm going to try my very, very best to get some good content. But thank you everyone for watching this video, and I'll be back again in the near future with the next one, and it'll probably be when I come back from holiday. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.